Alright, hello, happy Sabbath and Shabbat Shalom. Well, this week I was working on a welder clamp. Got parts that I forgot that I had. Dug them up. I've been stripping them from galvanization and heavy built-on rust, although they're going to rust right here in the middle of the air. And I've got these custom pieces of copper strip made out of, well, regular copper pipe that I plan on putting on here like so and like so to make a conductive surface. And now these are a little longer than they'll be when they're done, but they'll fit on there. So I'll put one on each of those two roundies, and I'll put one on that roundy, and then I'll put the and then there'll be more conductivity to it also, because the idea is these things, this spring got hot and softened up before, and so I'm going to try to still reuse it, but I'm going to have to put a spacer in there now. I don't know if this will get used or not, but I was cleaning it anyhow. See all the copper oxide or carbonate, whichever it is, because I had these etching in acid. But either way, we'll that's where I've got more parts to it, but that's the part that's the most critical, where it conducts electricity and doesn't overheat the grip ground strap. I got a free vacuum cleaner because apparently somebody sucked up some yuck with it that it makes it smell bad, but it also came with a fresh vacuum driver belt, the beater bar belt, so I'm supposed to clean that up and get it ready for Mom eventually. Been feeling a little less rotten lately, so I've gotten a little more done. One reason I wanted to get out in the morning is because it's going to be super hot. The other reason is because flowers. A lot of flowers that we have around here. The boys mowed them down, but they've come back. So they're doing better now than they were when the boys were eating the tops of them off. Little sunflowers up there. One thing you only see in the morning is the chicory, aka bachelor button. So hopefully again that'll get up to a number of plants that I can propagate and make use of at some point. The wild petunias are up in the morning. They're almost done. Here pretty soon they'll be shedding. Several of the flowers that you would see around here, even though they're late summer flowers or midsummer flowers, they only show up during the morning hours when it's cooler. Oddly enough, the verbena is still blooming despite the temperature. The rose of Sharon is still putting on blossoms. The boys ate the lower branches off of it, so that kind of made it hard to get a good large blossom swarm out of it. The other thing is these day flowers will be up over here. The day flowers come in here in this shady portion, and they grow all over here. See, there's the rose of Sharon. Let me see, make certain I'm getting the flowers there. Yeah. The little mustard plant's still alive, just not growing very fast. It could be that it's not liking this heat very much. So I've also got, of course, regular nightshade. You see here, the day flowers are pretty thick. And they make little pretty flowers that you only see in the morning, like right now, that fade out. They pollinate or whatever by evening, and then they're done. So by the time I usually do an afternoon report, there's nothing left. Well, next year's raspberry shoots or stalks are coming up. Oh yeah, the first of the surprise lilies has popped up ahead of everybody else. So soon there'll be a bunch of those out here. This blackberry has pretty much done all it's going to do, realistically. It's probably going to die soon, I don't know. It's old, it's very old. Fortunately, I got that one growing off of it, which doesn't look really much different than it did last time. Here's another surprise lily right here. So I'm not going to go all the way down there. It's already fairly warm. The strawberries, they're starting to take off pretty good here in this new pot where the squash didn't make it. The peppers are starting to be pretty happy. They have flower buds, so hopefully they'll be having fruit on them pretty soon. That's the hopes. Bell peppers. The tomatoes on here are setting on the two smaller plants. I'm guessing we have over 40 tomato plants, for tomato fruit right now. The ones on the taller plants, this one hasn't even really started flowering yet, and so it's not going to do as well as far as time wise. Over here, this one's not looking very good at all. I don't know if it's because it's got a disease or if it's low on nutrient or if it's getting hot. Oh, it is. It has finally set a fruit. There we go. It finally set fruit. Whereas this one has got some better fruits on it all along in different places. Mom and I have been eating cucumbers most days for about a week or so. I've got a few that are still in the process of developing before it's their time to be picked. Mom picked one early the other day, kind of got my schedule and my balance of growth off line, but what am I going to do? They're her cucumbers. The basil's growing like a weed, but it's probably going to die like a weed before anybody harvests it. I don't know. The citronella is still in there, but just barely. I put the water hose in there to trickle to just keep the place wet. I don't know if that's a good idea or not. But I did it mostly because we're coming up on really hot weather, and this thing's going to need a lot of water. These two vines are going to need a lot of water to keep making lots of cucumbers. See, there's another one up there that's going to be ready to pick soon. Haven't been a lot of bees in here, but a couple bees. There's some ground cherries in there I haven't messed with, but they're in there. And then of course some of my spuds, they're in here and they look all weird, but they're growing. So as long as they're still growing, they're making fruit. They're making root tubers, I mean. Now one thing I did here, it was kind of always on my list to do, but Mom kind of lit a fire under me to do, was to put a latch in here. See, I had to build out from that some because of the length and because of the fact that's a very rotten timber. So, but Mom was having a problem with my makeshift brace bar, which I'm understanding, so I just put a latch in there. And then other than that, we moved the tame petunia and the geranium outside. Hopefully that they'll get better condition. The Tampatania seems to have perked up a little bit. It's not as bushy, but it's going to probably take a while to recover from nearly dying. This thing broke a piece off accidentally, and it's in the house. I repotted the elephant ear plant because that little pot was getting kind of bare, so it's got more root area now. The babies are all pretty much the same. I did get some equipment, so hopefully I can put a metered water valve in there to make certain that they're not either being in a swamp or in dehydration state for the moment until I can get in there and get them out in the field. This field will become momentarily decommissioned and just be open, and even though it looks like it's a better field, or better pen, I mean, the idea isn't to have them in here, it's to have them out there. So we'll see. The grapes are doing, well, grapey things, and it's grape speeds, which means they probably won't be ready till October, about feast time. In here we have the broken off piece of geranium and rooting compound. Hopefully it's making a difference. I broke off a piece of dock just to show Mom, but I gotta pick it all eventually before it goes bad. I found this really nifty little rotted out chunk of wood that was a knot off of a tree. It looked like something Mom might be able to be using in her terrarium. Anyway, I don't think she's watered this enough lately. But this is going on very slowly, not very fast. I don't know what she's doing out here. I haven't seen it, but those things hopefully are getting rerouted. She said she got some more new cacti, but I don't know which ones. One thing I was going to mention, some of these are putting on babies. This is putting on a sister plant. This is putting on several sister plants. Here's a sister plant. If I'm really careful and really successful, I can repropagate those. I don't remember if this one has one or not. No, not yet. It probably doesn't have enough light. I don't know. But some of these have several sister plants on them. Mother-in-law's tongues. One of her avocado sprouts is germinated. Seeds. These things are still, I've still got 3 avocados alive in both of the pineapples. It's funny that pineapples are only supposed to live 2 years and those are 4 or 5 years. I think it has to do with their flower. My spindly pear is still struggling. These, what do we call them, parent leaf plants or whatever that make babies on the end of them, still doing its thing, barely. Oh, Mom put the amaryllis and the potted hyacinth in the basement to give them 5 months of drying out and darkness, so they'll go completely dormant so that they'll rebloom. So hopefully that'll be useful. That's pretty much everything, although I do have a piece of the Welder cable thingy upstairs. I don't think it's going to be that important to show that until the whole thing's done. But again, that's pretty much everything. We got little bits and pieces done this week, more than some of the past weeks. Like I said, I got a float mechanism thing that I haven't installed yet, but we'll see how that goes. So that's pretty much all for this week. So shalom to everybody, and we'll see you hopefully next week.